Hi, I'm Amy, and I wanted to share my story with you. Went through a lot of things through my childhood with my parents divorcing early and bouncing back and forth between households, summertimes changing, father's, mother's house. We weren't really necessarily raised in church, but my father made sure that we made it to church. And when I was with my mother, she made sure that we got to go to church. Through high school, I dealt with, all the way up through high school from childhood, I dealt with physical and sexual and mental abuse. I had tried to kill myself before I got out of high school. One person that I trusted after another just kept betraying my trust. I started drinking. It was my coping mechanism. I could be the happy-go-lucky Amy that everybody knew. I was a great performer. I hid from everybody. I hid behind church. I hid behind my sports. I hid behind my perfectionism. And I had to be the best to overcome everything and to hide everything. Went to Germany with the army, was sexually assaulted by somebody I considered my friend. Asked him to walk me home one night, and the end result was a trial in which he was not found guilty, which was very crushing. And here's the system that I trust that's supposed to protect me, and yet again it didn't. And I started drinking a little bit more. I could be funny Amy and happy Amy, and it was easier to hide that way. I know that I came back to Texas and was comfortable in my lifestyle. I was comfortable with a new set of friends that I had learned to trust and overcome things with. I was working, making good money. I had great sports going on in my life, and things were going good. And I found out that after a party, when I had gone to bed and passed out, that I had been sexually assaulted yet again by somebody very, very close to me in my circle of friends. And as a result, I was pregnant. I just remember that moment, just going, I don't know what to do. It's kind of like being hurt twice. You have the incident, and then you have the choice. And I felt very forced into my decision. Somewhere in this process of thinking about abortion, the baby got lost in it, and it was all about how it was going to hurt them, how it was going to hurt people, the perpetrator, or how it was going to affect somebody else's lives. If I told my story, somebody could go to jail. And so somehow it became more important for their lives versus my baby's life. And, I have regrets about not seeking help from somebody else. I was very encouraged by somebody who had had 4 abortions herself. I didn't know about the Hope Centers or the pregnancy centers. I didn't really have anybody else to talk to but the one person I trusted. And I followed her advice and did what I thought I had to do, what I thought I was forced to do. I would tell you today that if it comes to that choice, do whatever you can to do what you know is right. Life is life from the moment that's conceived. And I just can't even fathom that, a baby's heartbeat could be taken away just because we're unwilling to take a stand or be true to our own feelings. I would just encourage anybody, if you're thinking about abortion, to really consider the back end of it. I think the hidden things that are out there are the feelings that you're going to mask later on, that are going to creep up. You won't even understand why you're doing some of them. I'm glad I found God. I'm not drinking anymore. He's led me through many friends that have helped me to go to abortion recovery retreats, some studies, God has been a driving force through this. The God that I was sure that hated me through all of my life, and I was pretty sure I hated him, turns out he's really protected me this whole time, and he's really cared about me. You know, if you're post-abortive and you're looking for a way to feel better about yourself, there are so many resources that God has put out there in the world for us. I myself went through a retreat, and I found that not only could God forgive me, but I could forgive me. I was led through a series of things that allowed me to know that I was going to see my baby in heaven. And, you know, I'll see my Patrick Michael, and I wouldn't have known that had I not gone through some of these programs that helped me. Going through Bible studies and getting in deep to find out what God's Word said about His love for us. That's something that is very comforting and can carry anybody through anything.